Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the brand new EarFun Air Pro 3. Now, I'm excited to check these out because the Air Pro lineup is usually one of their best, but EarFun hasn't released a product in a while, so it leads me to think that they've put a lot of time into developing these earbuds. Now, they do come in retailing at $79, although right now on Amazon you can check the little box to give you a certain percentage off, and they even have a coupon code, which I'll have in the description, where it brings it all the way down to $59. And at $59, I'll say this right now, this is some of the most features that you're going to get in an earbud in this price range, so I think a lot of people are going to be excited about these. Now we'll go ahead and jump into what all they've included in the box. It does come with 4 sets of silicone ear tips. It also comes with a USB-C cable, but surprisingly in this price range, the case on these are Qi wireless charging compatible. So you can just come in, drop it on a wireless charger, and it'll start charging that way. And to me, that's impressive because we've seen some earbuds lately around $100 that don't include this feature. But speaking of the charging, the battery life is also very impressive on this pair because if you use these with the noise canceling turned off, you can get about 9 hours on the earbuds and about 45 hours using the case. But even with the noise canceling on, you're still going to get about 7 hours on the earbuds and about 37 hours using the case. And this pair also has a fast charge feature, so if you're walking out the door, you pick your earbuds up and they're dead, you can pop them in and charge them for 10 minutes and it will give you 2 hours of use. So it's always nice to have that just in case you're somebody that doesn't always make sure that your earbuds are charged. And then moving over to looking at the actual case and the earbuds themselves. The case is plastic, it is a fingerprint magnet, and honestly it kind of feels cheap. There's nothing special here about the case. On the back you can see the USB-C input for charging, and then around on the front it has 3 indicator lights. Now this is how you gauge how much battery life is left on the case, but when you pop open the lid, you can see that there is a pairing button that's located between both earbuds, and you can also see that the earbuds are a stem style design. Now you'll either love or hate this. I'm normally not the biggest fan of a stem style earbud. I just think it stands out more, and I don't know, it's just never been a huge fan of it, but I have realized a lot of the good earbuds are a stem style earbud. So I've gotten used to using these. They do use touch controls, and I am happy to say that they give you control over everything. So you have your play, pause, your ability to skip your tracks forward, go backwards. You can summon your smart assistant. You can turn the noise canceling on. You can do all of that right out of the box. But these also work with EarFun's app, so you can actually go in and switch around the controls if you want to. But some other advantages of using the app is you can always have the earbuds updated. There are some pre-built EQ options, which I will say right now is very important with this pair. But you can also go in and customize the EQ settings yourself, which I'll show you the settings that I use once we get to the sound. But this pair also has multi-point connection, so you can connect these to more than one device at a time, and you can also go in and switch it from your noise canceling to your transparency mode, or just turn both of those off altogether. And speaking of the noise canceling, this is an area too where I was very impressed in this price range. This is very good noise canceling, not just the one that kind of like subtly dulls things out. This really even jumps up a notch and starts to block out a lot of people talking and higher pitch sounds without overly affecting the music. Now it does bump up the low end just a little bit with the noise canceling on, so do keep that in mind if that's where you plan on keeping it. But also in transparency mode, because they're using so many microphones, you really do have a good awareness of your surroundings while it's in transparency mode. I mean, I could easily carry on a conversation without taking the earbuds out. I could be out for a walk or a run and just be very aware of my surroundings. But also in the app, you can switch these into a gaming mode, so it will cut down the latency. But I'm also going to touch on one other thing. This is one of the first pairs, in fact, it may be the first pair to use LE audio, which is low energy audio, and also the LC3 codec. Now what this is a low complexity communication codec.
LC3 uses a new compression algorithm that allows for higher quality audio at a lower bit rate, meaning less data will be transmitted, resulting in lower power consumption without compromising on sound.
Now, some other tech is it has Bluetooth 5.3. It is also using a Qualcomm 3071 chip, and it supports aptX adaptive playback. Now, I've said this a million times. This is one of my favorite codecs. Everything's just kind of adapting to your signal, to the situation that you're in. It's always making sure that you're getting the best quality that you can depending on what you're listening to. Now, if you are looking at this pair to maybe use at the gym or the beach or anywhere outdoors, it does come in with an IPX5 rating, so that's slightly higher than most noise-canceling earbuds that usually sits around an IPX4. So it'll be fine against rain and sweat and splashes and things like that, but this isn't one of those that you could submerge into water. Now, if you are also looking at this pair to maybe taking phone calls while you're at work or on a run or anything like that, this pair uses 6 microphones total. In fact, it's using that CVC 8.0 environmental noise canceling. So it's trying to also block out a lot of your surroundings. And I think the mic quality on here is pretty impressive. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is the mic test using the AirPro 3s, and like I said, I think it does a really good job of picking up my voice. It does make it sound a little digital and it sounds slightly warmer, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here's the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. Now these are using 11mm wool composite drivers. And I'll say this, I think it's a little too strong out of the box. I think it's way too bass heavy, it's boomy. It really does affect the mids and the treble because at first I was not enjoying using these. And that in itself is surprising because usually I like the way that EarFun tunes their products. And there are some people that don't want to download the app and don't know what to do when it comes to equalizing their earbuds. So I can see that this might be an issue. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. This is the EQ settings that I put my earbuds in to get it to sound the way that I wanted to. And you can see that I had to drop the bass quite a bit. And I also had to bump the mids slightly, but also had to pull the treble up quite a bit as well. And this is the sound signature that I like with these earbuds. But once I had it set to this, it still had some really aggressive bass, but it is a lot more tightened up. It's not messing up the mids and the treble at this point. It's allowing the mids to have a pretty nice presence. I felt like vocalists stood out. Guitar riffs and things like that I had no issues hearing. And the treble, I was able to get to a point where it sounded quite bright. Now, this is a personal preference of mine, but this also allowed it to kind of balance out a little bit better with that aggressive low end. So it's really going to come down to personal preference, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. This isn't one of those pairs that you can just like tone down the bass all the way to nothing. It seems as though no matter what setting I had it on, the bass you're still going to feel regardless. So if you're a bass head, this is honestly just one of the better ones you're going to find. It just doesn't hold back when it comes to this. But I am glad that it allowed me to EQ these and still be able to bring out the mids and the treble. But the soundstage and the sound imaging, I felt like I was in a medium to large size room. Again, I don't know if it's that aggressive bass that kind of closes things in a little bit. So it's not as wide open sounding as some other earbuds. But really what it comes down to is if you're somebody that listens to pop, hip hop, or EDM or anything that's more bass driven usually, I would definitely give these a 9 in this category. But if you're somebody that listens to rock and metal, and you do want to feel the impact of bass, but it's still very important that you hear the guitar riffs and hear vocalists and the cymbals crashing and things like that, for that type of music, I would give these a 7. But if you're somebody that mainly listens to classical or easy listening or country or anything that's just, again, more vocal driven, I would bring the rating down to a 6. Again, I think the low end kind of affects these other frequencies too much. I know this is nitpicking in this price range, but I've tested so many in this price range that do a better job with this specific genre. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in one more category because I think this is important for a lot of people, is media. If you're somebody that watches or consumes a lot of media on your device, or you're gaming a lot, this area I would give these a 9. In fact, I would see a lot of people getting these just for that alone. So my overall rating on these would be a 7.5. But if you're fine with playing around with the EQ settings, you can definitely get solid sound quality out of these. And other than that, you're getting extremely good noise canceling. You're also getting that multi-point connection, which is not very common in a lot of earbuds. It has great battery life. You have Qi wireless charging. You have all of your controls, and you have newer Bluetooth technology that some other earbuds doesn't have. So to wrap all of that up and to be able to get it for $59, again, EarFun's just showing you that you really can get a lot for your money. So yeah, I can definitely recommend them at that price, even at the $79. It really is competing with other ones in this price range. So guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new EarFun Air Pro 3s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.